Is the Samsung Galaxy S8 worth buying in 2022? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S8. Now the S8 was launched in April of 2017, so at this point, this device is essentially 5 years old. And despite that, I feel like it still has a very relevant looking design, in the sense that it looks decently modern and certainly doesn't really look that outdated. Now of course, the S8 can no longer be purchased brand new, but you can still get it used, renewed, or refurbished, and I will be linking to it in the video description below. So in what situation would it actually make sense to get a Galaxy S8 at this point? Well, I would say that if you are considering buying a lower end Android phone, maybe a device that's in the $100 to $200 price range, then you might want to consider going for an older flagship like this one that used to be the best of the best out there, instead of going for a brand new device that is very low end. Now, based on what you need specifically from your smartphone, kind of depends on whether you should go this route or go for a brand new low-end device. But that's the purpose of this video, to give you a better idea of which route you should take. Now with the Samsung Galaxy S8, we're getting a 5.8-inch display featuring Corning Gorilla Glass 5. The display itself is Super AMOLED at 1440p. We're getting a PPI here of 570 with an 18.5:9 aspect ratio, and we're getting an 83.6% screen to body ratio. So in general, this device is an excellent looking display. It is decently large, not quite as large as some of the newer devices that have come out lately. But that being said though, it still is a quality piece of hardware. Now we do have an 8-megapixel front-facing camera, and the device also features an iris scanner, which is pretty unique, and it is something that Samsung no longer does with any of their devices. Now this particular version of the Galaxy S8 features 64 gigabytes of internal storage, and we're also getting microSD card expansion. Now this device also features wireless charging, which is something that you can't find with really any budget device. And I'm calling this a budget device because, again, if you're going to get one at this point, you're going to be paying a budget price for it. So if you are looking to spend under $200 and you want a phone that has wireless charging, this, along with maybe some other older flagships, might be some of your few options available. Now on the back, this device does have just one camera, and it is 12 megapixels. And we do have portrait mode though, with both the rear and front cameras, which I'll be showing you in a second. Now the device also has a fingerprint sensor on the back, which is nice and responsive. There we go. Give that a try one more time. However, I'm really not a fan at all of the placement of that fingerprint sensor. The first issue is that it's very inconvenient with its placement, and the second issue is that it's literally right next to the camera, so it's very easy to accidentally smudge the camera when you're trying to access that fingerprint sensor. I definitely would have preferred to have it like literally where the Samsung logo is, because that's where my finger would naturally rest. Now, I actually personally prefer having the fingerprint sensor be on the power button. And I know that nowadays with Samsung's flagships, they're doing it in the display, but I feel like having it all the way up here by the camera module is literally the worst placement possible for that fingerprint sensor. But of course, I'll give them credit for giving us both face unlock, an iris scanner, and the fingerprint sensor, allowing us to have a variety of different options when it comes to accessing the phone. This is way different from Apple's approach, where with their newer iPhones, they're literally forcing you to use Face ID. I definitely would have preferred that Apple gave us multiple ways to access the phone, just like Samsung did here with the Galaxy S8. Now taking a closer look at the camera app here, here's how things look with the main camera, which of course is the only camera on the back of this device. Then from here we can go to selective focus, which essentially is like their version of portrait mode. We can also flip around to the front-facing camera. There's me right there. We can also take a standard selfie if we want to as well. And then of course we do have video mode too. So in video mode, we'll go up here and see the various options available. But essentially with the rear camera, we do have an option for 4K video recording. And we also have 4K video recording with the front-facing camera. So very nice that we do have those features here. Now with the Samsung Galaxy S8, we're getting 4 gigabytes of RAM and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 processor. Now I did do a benchmark test using the Geekbench 5 app, and here are the scores that I got. So I got a single core score of 363 and a multi-core score of 1551. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current device and then compare your scores to these scores to get a better idea of whether or not this device will indeed be a performance upgrade for you. Now with the Samsung Galaxy S8, this device features a 3000 milliamp hour internal battery, which isn't necessarily that large, but we are getting 15 watt fast charging. so I do at least appreciate that the device can recharge pretty quickly. Now, another awesome bonus with the S8 is that it does feature Samsung DeX. And if you're not familiar with DeX, essentially it allows you to plug your Galaxy S8 into a monitor and have it go into a desktop mode, essentially allowing you to have a desktop computer built inside of your smartphone. Now, this isn't a feature that's really been that popular since launching, but it is yet another feature that you are getting here with the Galaxy S8 that you wouldn't be able to find with a budget smartphone, which is certainly something worth considering. But now that we've gone over the various highlights of the Samsung Galaxy S8, let's take a closer look at the hardware of the phone. Now, I already talked quite a bit about the front panel here, but essentially there is no notch, which is nice, but we do have kind of thicker bezels in the top and bottom of the phone. But in general, I feel like it has a very good looking design in the sense that, yes, there are bezels, but they're not really distracting. Now, taking a look at the left side of the phone, we have the volume up, volume down. We also have the Bixby button, which I'm certainly not a fan of. I literally never use Bixby. We also have on the right side of the device, the power button. Then up top here, the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. We have the noise canceling microphone. Then on the bottom of the phone, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, microphone, and the speaker. I also like the premium build materials. We have glass in the front and back of the phone. And then we do have a metal band going around the sides of the actual device itself. And we also have a curved glass display here. Now, taking a look at the back side of the device, we do have the camera module, we have a heart rate sensor, the flash, fingerprint sensor, Samsung logo, and Galaxy S8 word mark. So in general, I feel like this phone has a great looking design. I'm a big fan of this color as well. Looks super sharp. Now, the phone does pick up quite a few fingerprints though, so that is something that you might want to keep in mind. So is the Samsung Galaxy S8 worth getting in 2022? I think it really comes down to what you'd be getting if you weren't getting this phone. For example, if you were going to get a Samsung Galaxy A02s, which goes for around $150 new, and you're considering that phone versus this phone, then you're going to be getting way more features with this device. But if you are trying to decide whether to get a Galaxy S8 or get a Galaxy S21, for example, then I would definitely go for the S21. But it really depends on what you'd be considering instead of this phone. Again, if you're considering a phone that's way less capable than this one in pretty much the same price range, then it might make more sense to go for a phone like this that is a bit older, but gives you those extra bonus features that you wouldn't be getting otherwise. So my point is that just because you're getting a brand new smartphone in 2022 doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting more features than an older, top-of-the-shelf flagship device like the Samsung Galaxy S8. But I hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be helpful. Definitely let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. But this is Kevin here, and I will see you in the next video.